So today we're leaving Puerto Mutis. This is where we are right here. You see the boat probably out through that little hole right there. Anyway, we're leaving today to go across the Pacific towards the Gambiers or the Marquesas. We'll see when we get over there, but I'm thinking the Gambiers. We just raised anchor in Bahia Honda, Panama, and we were here like 5 days, 4 days. We cleaned the bottom and did some engine work that didn't really remedy the engine problem, but I went swimming and hiking, and it was awesome. It's really such a beautiful place. But we are off to the Gambiers, 3,889 miles. So the Navionics predicts it'll take us 39 days and 23 hours. So that's what we're going to do. Kendra's with me. She's down there somewhere. But yeah, so that's it. We're going, man. Day 2. Last night was hell. We got some of those gap winds out of Panama. Man, the seas built up. Yeah, confused seas, probably 6-8 foot wind waves and 20 knots of wind all night. It was hell. Busted the wind vane. The rudder came off. Came out of its tube. Monitor wind vane, and I'm gonna have to fix that on the way. I'm running on the Tiller Pilot, but the Tiller Pilot's on its last legs too, so heaven forbid we'd have to hand steer all the way to South Pacific. So good, maybe he's shitting on the anchor instead of on the boat. It's nice of him. We are hove to about 100 miles north of the equator, where I had to go swimming to pull the bottom of the wind vane off so we could fix it. That was busted off of there. So it was spot welded right around here. So I gotta figure out a way to get that to stay on there. If I could drill through the stainless, I'll do that and put a screw on each side. Maybe some epoxy too. This is day 9 in our trip from Panama to the Gambiers. We're about 250 miles due east of the Galapagos now, trying to go south of them. And we're up 5 miles, a little less than 5 miles from the equator. But man, it's been hard getting here. Yesterday morning we were 37 miles from the equator, and I thought, oh, we're gonna have, afternoon equator party, break out the rum. All day yesterday we were going like 1.5 knots, 2 knots. I think there's a contrary current. And then last night the wind died completely. We had hove to because we were just sitting there. Went the wrong direction for 4 or 5 miles. But now we're about 5 miles away, and it's like 2:30 in the afternoon, and we're doing about 1.5 knots, maybe. We're climbing up and over the swell, and there's got to be a contrary current. I just can't figure out anything else, because sometimes it seems like we're flying. I think, we're got to be doing 4.5 knots. I look at the GPS and we're doing 2. So anyway, so that's it. But we're getting there, slowly, but snail's pace. But hopefully we'll cross the equator this afternoon. There's Kendra, she's relaxing. A mile and a half to the equator. I'm gonna make some ravioli. Ravioli? Garlic. Garlic? Water boiling? Ocean. We did it. We definitely did it. Here's Kendra and Kevin. We just crossed the equator, and this is our equator party. We've got Grandpa Rum and Squirt, generic Squirt from Panama. And there's a booby on the bow to join us, sitting right there. And so we just made it across. It's our 9th day at sea from Bahia Honda, Panama, and we just crossed the equator. It's been slow. But so cheers to us. Oh, that's delicious. And some for Neptune and Poseidon or whoever. Not too much. And cheers. Well done.
Cheers.
Cheers, booby. So today I was working on the engine. In the engine compartment, you have to bend down kind of like the way a catcher sits, You're far in there to pull the fuel filter. Constant problem, of course, but I messed up my right knee. I felt a pang there, and then I couldn't straighten it all the way when I tried to stand up in there to get out of there, and I couldn't straighten it all the way nor put weight on it. So I've done something to myself, and it's frustrating. It's my sister's a nurse, and I talked to her on over the Garmin InReach, and she said it could be a torn ligament or torn cartilage. It hurts though, so it's okay if I just sit here, but it hurts if I try to stand or try to put any weight on it or try to straighten it. So I'm going to try to baby it for a couple days and see what happens. I don't know what the hell we're going to do. We're near the Galapagos, but we're not stopping there. There are at least 35 days of the Marquesas. So anyway, Kendra's doing all the work and trying to do everything to help me out, and I'm just going to take it easy and hopefully everything's good. At least the motors, and of course the motor ran great after that, you know. So that's the price you pay to get the motor to run is you hobble yourself. So. So after getting more medical advice from a doctor back in the States, a friend of mine's friend, he suggested, as doctors do, that I go see somebody about my knee right away. So we've altered course towards the Galapagos. Apparently I can stop here for an emergency for 3 days without paying all their fees. So we're heading there now, and we should be there this afternoon. I'm in the doctor's office in Galapagos in Ecuador. Getting my knee checked out. I'm in a wheelchair. Very friendly. All public medicine. It's like a government-run place. Clean, friendly, professional. Jealous. We are on our way again. So we stopped at Isla San Cristobal in the Galapagos. And I went to the doctor, to the hospital. It's really cool the way this worked out. You're not supposed to stop there at all, apparently. We were told that you could have 3 days, 72 hours for a medical emergency, but when we got there, the guy said, no, there's no free time. You got to check in, you got to pay all the fees. So $1,300 just to go there. That's without going to other islands and stuff. Plus you have to have your hull inspected for barnacles. I know we've got some from Panama because we didn't clean the deep down part of the keel, the bottom of the keel, very bottom. We could see them down there, but it was just, you know, it's a nightmare getting down there with the snorkel and scraping them all off. So we would have had to leave anyway and go get the bottom cleaned just to be in that bay. Anyway. So the Navy guy came out, and we convinced him that he would get up in the morning and come get us and take me to the hospital, take us both to the hospital, and bring us back to the boat, and then we'd just leave. That was it. We'd see the doctor and we'd leave. Luckily, he turned out to have a crush on Kendra, so that helped. So he came in the morning and took me to the hospital. They checked me out, really nice, professional, clean. No fees. In fact, they don't even have a way to bill or to pay. There's not a cash register or a dollar bill in the place. You just go in there, the doctor sees you, you get your medication, they tell you what to do, and you walk out. Just like that. I mean, it's the model, in my mind, the model of healthcare. So that's a whole nother story. I was just so impressed by that. But then the guy took us over to the store. We got some supplies, some groceries. We were out of bread, fresh bread and some vegetables. Brought us back in the water taxi to the boat and told us we had a half hour to get the hell out. He wanted us to stay, and he was trying to find a reason to stay because he wanted to hit on Kendra some more. But even asked her out while I was in the doctor. He got a little translation app out on his phone and hitting on her, asked her if she'd go have drinks with him and stuff. Anyway, but we left. So we got out. I mounted the wind vane rudder real fast, jumped in the water and mounted the wind vane rudder as fast as I could. And we were a few minutes late, but we pulled anchor and got the hell out of there. Well, you can see what's going on here. It's one day out of the Galapagos. We've gone maybe 30 miles today, and an hour of that was motoring. So luckily there's a current going in our direction towards the southwest, about a knot, so that helps. Otherwise, God forbid it was going the other direction, man, we'd be going back to the continent. Wild horses. A gale came up in the night. Fucking scary, man. Fucking scary. The wind's come down now, but man, it's still really rough out. It is day 23. Big seas today. We've taken several into the cockpit, catching everyone off guard, and rolling the boat like 50 degrees. I mean, we're almost on our beams and some of these rolls. Of course, we're in the trough, so we're sailing right beam to the wind and seas. But that's our destination. It sails fine this way. It just rolls like a MFer and about get knocked down occasionally. But it's sunny and warm. Not actually rolly, but sunny and warm, and all is well. Crew morale is low, but the boat's doing fine. so we're still moving in the right direction. So that's something. It is day 25, I think, or 24, or 26. I'm not sure. But it's 9:30 in the morning. Yesterday was just such a pleasant sailing day. The seas were calm, like, I don't know, calm as you can expect, I guess, in the trade winds. And then we just moved along about 5 knots, which is great. You know, I'll take 5 knots on a flat sea or a calm sea any day. Then what seems to happen is each night the wind and the waves start to pick up in the night. Last night it was like 1 in the morning. I can feel it. I'm sleeping on the windward side down below, and the waves start to smack the hull, you know, boom, and then we roll a lot more. And since I'm on the windward side, I get tossed out of bed. But it seems to happen each night, you know. In the middle of the night they build, and then in the morning they're you can't tell in this shot, but they're pretty big coming in, probably 10-foot wind waves, bigger. I think this is where the heavy boat really helps you out here. In a light boat, like a lighter cruiser racer, boy, you'd get the shit beat out of you here. I think in this these wave conditions, especially because of the wind, you'd be flying. You know, you'd be going so fast, and it'd be a wet, wild ride. But we kind of, power through it. It's still a little wild. It's a hard time holding on, but it takes a lot to get the boat moving because it's heavy. But I think it's slightly more comfortable in this. My favorite time of the day. It's like 8:30 in the morning, but it is incredibly beautiful out here. I just can't even tell you, man. It's fairly calm this morning. The wind has been light all night. Of course, it's just coming up now that I brought the camera out, so I can have sufficient wind noise to annoy anybody watching this. But it is just so beautiful. I just can't even tell you. Get up in the morning and put the fishing lines out and make a cup of coffee and sit in the cockpit and just, oh man, I just love it. There's no way to explain it. We should have about 12 more days, no more than that, 15 more days before we get there. We're about 1,600 miles away. And part of me just wants it to keep going, the hassles of checking into a country and anchoring the boat and figure out where things are and dealing with the officials and the people and the other cruisers. And don't get me wrong, it's awesome, but this is just so peaceful and so relaxing. It's just awesome.